Suzanne Estrella, and I'm the Commonwealth Victim Advocate for the state of Pennsylvania. Today I'm here with my friends from the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape, where we're celebrating Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Jim Wilshire is here with me from PCAR. Tell us a little bit about PCAR.
Well, thanks. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about awareness and what we're doing right now. Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape got started in 1975. We work with all of the rape crisis centers in the state. There's 47 of them serving every county of the state to help provide counseling services and prevention education to everyone in the Commonwealth.
Wow. So how about Sexual Assault Awareness Month? How did that come about? Is that a national campaign or a state campaign?
So the campaign started, this will be the 21st year of doing it. It started in the early 2000s as an initiative of the National Sexual Violence Resource Center. And we, obviously at PCAR, focus a lot on what's going on in Pennsylvania, but as a relationship with NSVRC as well as PCAR, we work with all the other state coalitions in the state, as well as any advocates that would like information for different campaign materials that we have. Every year there's a different campaign to try to help provide that education to everyone. The biggest focus of the Sexual Assault Awareness Month is to have, obviously, awareness of the prevalence of sexual violence, but also to provide information on how it can be prevented and the roles different people can play, and just with that awareness, what you can do to either intervene or support someone that's a survivor of it.
That sounds great. I know what we hear from survivors is what they want most is that what happens to them never happened to anyone else. So if you guys are providing information about how people can intervene, I think that's really going to be very impactful. Tell us a little bit about this year's campaign and what people can expect and what resources are available.
So this year's campaign is going to be similar to our last campaign also during the pandemic of focusing on what happens digitally. So while we're all working remotely still, schools are going more to being back behind brick and mortar and at the desks. But I think one of the things that happened with the pandemic is that we all realized how much more we've been relying on virtual communication, whether it be through social media, now a lot of remote work being done either from across states or from offices that are still working just remotely because they're not returning to work. This year's campaign is continuing to focus on building online safe communities. And a lot of the materials we have are helping with focusing on how to have respectful conversations, netiquette, proper etiquette when we're working through all those things virtually, and we have different information that's out there. It's available on a store through the website, as well as through all the rape crisis centers in the state will have different materials too, whether it be palm cards, it might be coffee sleeves and pens, the things that typically happen with events. But things with the palm cards and some of our talking points is just trying to help everyone understand what sexual assault is, and again, like I said, that role that you can play.
Right. So folks can get information from the PCAR website as well as locally from their local rape crisis center, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing that we would definitely want to encourage everyone to be mindful of and reach out is how they can support their local center, whether it be getting information or just helping a center as providing direct services to survivors. But a lot of our local centers will be holding different events. It might be, I know we could highlight different centers, and we will through our PCAR social media. We'll be highlighting different events that they're doing, but some will be recognizing the history of things that have happened, not just with sexual assault, but also what's rooted in this movement of trying to prevent sexual assault, of focusing on different forms of oppression that have a role in sexual violence, whether it be anti-racism, whether it be focusing on the feminist philosophy that we have of trying to have more equality for everyone, as well as trying to, like I said, step forward, whether it be bystander intervention in general. But with each of those centers, the events they'll be having will be maybe more accessible for some people, depending on where you live, if you're going to your local center, and then you can learn more about them and what's happening in their community too.
That's great. I'm happy to hear about that, and we certainly will let survivors across the Commonwealth know that they have some local options right in the counties where they live. Tell me a little bit about how you feel about the climate of sexual assault awareness kind post-Me Too movement and post-pandemic? What changes are you all seeing maybe for the good or the bad?
I think, it's a great question to ask, especially with how much has happened in the last couple of years in a short amount of time. When you're having Awareness Month, it's obviously, like I said before, you're wanting to make sure people are aware of how prevalent something is and how it's affected everyone. When we're talking about sexual harassment, we're talking about sexual assault, we're talking about everything that happens on every spectrum, children, adults, transgender. What I think we have seen a lot with the pandemic is that, like I said, part of why we're going virtual is how often we're spending time there. But we've heard different things that are happening, images that get shared with someone that didn't want to see it, different kinds of harassment that are happening, someone playing an online video game, things that are happening inappropriately in a work setting now on a Zoom session. Things like that is part of why we still need to have a lot of awareness spread and a lot of prevention education on what you can do if something like that happens, and support someone that may have experienced that. Post-Me Too, I think one of the benefits of that is that, as we have seen over the years, the Me Too movement has made it not easier, but as people have come forward and said, this happened to me too, which is the biggest part of the Me Too movement.
Right.
More people are believing someone when they come forward and say it. And I think one of the other things that has probably been a benefit with the Me Too movement also is that this has been a topic that is difficult for some people to talk about. It makes people feel uncomfortable. They may not want to talk about it, or they might try to work around it quickly because of how uncomfortable it makes them. And it doesn't need to be, which is part of why we have a lot of the prevention education materials.
Right.
When more people come forward, when we know how often someone has said, one for women will experience rape at some point in their life. When Me Too movement allows someone to come forward and be believed, more people can come forward, and when you realize how many people are in your life that have experienced something like this, then we can have more of a conversation of what you can do to support them, what you can do to help someone that maybe you may be the first person that they've come and told that to. And that is one of the most critical points in time for that survivor, because they need to hear that you believe them.
Right.
And Me Too movement started more of a conversation of how you can do that.
That's right, that's great. We really appreciate the work that you all do here at the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape, championing survivors in such a difficult time. And we're happy to share this information and to partner with you all. Do you have some specific events that you want us to let victims know about? Or
I think one of the events that we're very happy and thankful for is that the Capitol building will be lit teal the week of April 4th.
Awesome.
As support of Sexual Assault Awareness Month and highlighting it. Teal is the awareness color for sexual assault. So we really appreciate the governor and the lieutenant governor for working with Department of General Services to have those lights put out front of the building to support survivors and be able to help have more of the conversation about why we have Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I think that's one of the big ones, because that will be visible for a long time.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we certainly appreciate the work that you all do, and it's so important because, like you said, if we're not having the conversation, then we're not taking steps toward creating safer, caring communities where justice thrives. And it's so important that we have these conversations and that survivors have a place to, have their voice be heard, and that people can find resources to know what they can do and how they can help. So thank you so much for making that available, and we look forward to continued partnership.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Sure.
Appreciate that.